Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Hopefully everyone is having a great day. Check out this tremendous error coin that I've got in front of me right here. You might not have got your eyes on one of these ones before. It's what's known as a broad strike error coin. This is one of the many different type of strike errors that you can come across while coin roll hunting. One of the other ones which we'll talk about in today's video is this one right here, which is a off center, as well as I've got a one on the right, which is just a plain blank planchet error. So that will be the focus of today's video. We'll also get into some more valuable 1980s Washington quarters, as that's the year that this one right here is from. But first, let's spend most of our time talking about the broad strike error associated with this coin right here. So the broad strike errors are produced when the collar die, which is the circular die surrounding the lower die, malfunctions. The collar die prevents the metal of the blank from flowing outside the confines of the die. And as you can see, that was not the case here. All denominations of US coins with a broad strike have plain edges. So let's check to see if this one right here has a plain edge. Now, a Washington quarter normally has a redded edge. So we can see right here, this is a rather cool feature of the broad strike coin. We see that the edge of this half, which doesn't have the broad strike to it, is your normal redded. But check it out, as it fades into this broad strike, which is where the error exists on this top right here, it becomes smooth. And the redded part of the coin actually goes onto this side. So check out, we've got a little bit of a double edge right here where we've got the plain rim, and then we've got the redded edge in the back. So we've got plain, 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 and then the redded starts to come right back around. So very cool feature of the broad strike error coin right there. Some of the other strikes that you can find are off center strikes. So let's take a look at this one right here. Now the broad strike and the off center strike, those will generally sell for around $3 to $5. One of the characteristics of the off-center strike, which can make it a little bit more valuable, is if it has the date. So one like this that doesn't have the date on it, this will sell for around $3 to $5. But if you've got one that has the date on it and it's got a great condition to the actual coin and it's one of the more valuable rare years, that can really increase the value and drive it up from $5 to $20, even if it's not in a graded slab officially graded by PCGS. So here's a little bit more information on the off-center strike. An off-center coin is produced when the coin is struck once, albeit off-center. Unlike the broad strike, the punch is not in the center of the coin, but rather on the edge. So let's look at these side by side. We've got the broad strike here, which was struck in the center of the coin. However, the collar of the coin failed. However, this one right here was struck on the edge of the coin, so not even close to the center, which is why they call it off-center. This off-center results in the coin which is not circular. The coin gives a freakish appearance as a result. The various amounts of blank planchet spaces are visible. So we've got plenty of blank planchet space visible right here, and then we've got the off-center strike right here. The coins can vary in value because of how far off-center they can be struck, although coins with full dates are more desirable than coins that are missing dates or missing digits. This one right here is missing all of the digits to the date, so it's going to be a little bit less valuable, but still obtainable for your introductory coin collectors like most of the people who watch this channel. And now let's go on to the blank planchet. The blank planchet is also something that can be picked up for relatively inexpensively, which is why I was able to get my hands on one. But take a look at this right here. Now there's actually two types of blank planchets that are out there. The type 1 doesn't have anything done to the edge of the coin. The type 2 has a finished edge going around the outside of it. So the type 2 with a finished edge was a little bit closer to actual production, whereas this one right here looks like it's the type 1, so it wasn't it didn't have the finished edge to it. So as you can see, the planchet that it was intended to be used for is just your standard Lincoln penny. You can see the diameter represents that of a Lincoln penny, as well as the metal content of the planchet of the coin. So we looked at three very cool errors right here: the 1980 broad strike, a off-center Lincoln penny, and a blank planchet Lincoln penny. Now let's talk about one more valuable 1980 quarter, in particular one of the more rare, harder to find, which is actually rather surprising. It's the 1988 25-cent coin. Now, what's rare about the 1988 25-cent coin is the fact that there are so few of them that have been graded at mint state 67 or better. Now, keep in mind that the coin grading scale that the coin grading agency uses go up to 70. So a mint state 67 is a highly graded coin, but people have got graded coins that are graded at mint state 68, 69. So mint state 67 should be obtainable, but for the 1988 D Washington quarter, it's actually one of the toughest dates in a mint state 67 condition to get in the clad quarter series. The clad quarter series, of course, started from 1976 until date. So that's 1976 with the start of the bicentennial quarter going all the way up until, I guess that's what they decide to cut off as the clad quarter series. It is even more difficult than some of the silver quarters out there, according to PCGS. As an example, the 1939 silver Washington quarter has at least 15 graded examples at a mint state 67. However, a mint state 67 1988 D Washington quarter, there have only been 8 of those graded by PCGS, and they've got a price guide of $2,250 out there. So keep an eye out for really high graded 1988 D Washington quarters. One of the main reasons for that is because people disregard those and don't really essentially think that they could be very valuable. So maybe you've got a roll of uncirculated 1988 Ds sitting around. PCGS, according to them, they think they are very valuable. Now let's talk about one more error that's noted in the Cherry Picker's Guide. So we looked at a bunch of different references. Let's finish it up with the Cherry Picker's Guide and see what they have to say about 1980s Washington quarter. One notable error in there is the 1981S proof coin. The 1981S proof Washington quarter has 2 different types of mint mark. There's the type 1 mint mark, which is much more common, and the type 2, which is much more scarce. So the 1981S proofs, the mint mark style was changed during production, creating 2 distinct types. Type 2, the rare variety, is not easily distinguished from the common type 1. For most collectors, the most visible difference is the flatness of the top curve of the type 2. So if you've got a 1981S proof coin and you notice it has a flat top to it for the S, that's going to be a type 2 error coin, and those will be worth a little bit more than your standard 1981S proof quarters. So to recap what we looked at today, we looked at a broad strike coin right here with the 1980 P Washington quarter, a off-center Lincoln penny, a blank planchet for the Lincoln penny. We talked about how a mint state 67 1988 D Washington quarter is going to be worth more than face value if it's in that rare condition, as well as a 1981S proof quarter with the type 2 mint mark to it. All right, everyone, that's all I've got for today. Enjoy and best of luck coin collecting out there, everyone. Take care.